Hey everybody, it's a disclaimer. I'm not sure what was going on, but all of a sudden in this episode you can hear my mouse clicking every time I'm clicking it. I don't know why. I'm gonna get it figured out. There's another disclaimer coming, and then we got the episode. Enjoy. Hey everybody, it's JD. Just wanted to get you a quick heads up. We got kind of caught up in a rather long chat about Shudder's new ad-supported service tier at the beginning of this episode that ended up being roughly a half an hour long. We thought some of you might still find it interesting, but if you don't care, make sure you check the episode description. We've got chapter stops in there. You can skip right past it to the movie stuff. With that in mind, enjoy the show. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of We Watch Shudder. My name is JD. Who's here with me?
It's Jenna.
It's lately Jenna. Not always Jenna, but lately.
It's sometimes lately Jenna.
Yeah. Jenna, I am going to warn you right away here that it does seem like we may have a little bit more of a delay than usual right now with my new internet service. But it does seem to be coming through okay. I think we're going to be... I got new internet service, guys. I'm running everything completely wireless on 5G because fuck those anti-5G people. No, that's not why. It's because it's way fucking cheaper than my old internet service. But cheaper isn't always a good thing. We're going to find out here tonight. So far, so good. You know what else is weird, Jenna?
What?
So, you remember... we were talking earlier about how suddenly Shudder has introduced, they raised the price of their normal package, but they introduced a less expensive ad-supported package. But, like, I thought I was on the ad-supported package, and I was going to have to watch ads while I watched tonight's movie, Forbidden Fruits. And then I didn't see any ads while I was watching it on my TV through my Roku. So now I'm trying to figure out why... on my laptop when I was signed in, it was showing me that I was going to have to, by the way, guys, not watch just ads, but I was going to have 10 advertising breaks throughout the running of the hour and 43-minute film Forbidden Fruits. 10 ad breaks, and now I don't have any idea how long those ad breaks were because, obviously, like I said, I ended up now watching them through the Roku, but...
That's insane.
So their new regular price went from $8.99 to $9.99, and it's been going up periodically for a while. That's how this shit happens. I don't even have an issue with that, right? At $9.99, it's still perfect price value for me. It's in fact, frankly, when it was still, I think it was $5.99 when I started subscribing. It was insane to me that you could get that service at that price. So even at $10, I watched so much of it, not a big deal. But the trade-off for a $2 a month discount is 10 ad breaks in one movie? Are you serious? And then, on top of it, we were talking about this, so I didn't intend to go off on this rant, but here I am. But we were talking earlier, like, they didn't tell anybody, at least I never heard of it. Nobody I've mentioned it to has ever heard of it. I only found out about it apparently because my subscription accidentally lapsed for a couple of days on account of being poor. And when I went to sign back up for it, it was only giving me, it was giving me those two options now. And I was like, when the fuck did this happen? But like, so based on things that I was seeing, like there's a possibility that like people just got switched over to the ad-supported version, and they were just like, all of a sudden there's ads on Shudder, and there's no warning or announcement. Like there hasn't even been like just like an announcement like you would expect, like when they do like a price increase. It's just all of a sudden, bam, there was a price increase and a new ad-supported tier. And you know, whatever, good on them for. You know, like I said, the price increase doesn't bother me personally. I'm sure it is an issue for some people. I know, obviously, we won't name names, but we've talked to some friends of ours out there, of longtime friends of the show, who very much like us, often significantly struggle because the whole fucking world struggles with this shit where literally every dollar matters. But I don't know. I guess I was way more just sort of taken aback and upset about the whole thing than I thought I was. Okay, I'm going to stop now. Do you have anything you want to say on the issue, Jenna?
Yeah, I did not realize that price increase and that the tiers they had in there were like a thing until you sent me a screenshot of that, and I was like, when did this happen? Because I watched the movie this morning, and I watched it on my TV through the app, and so I didn't have any ad breaks. So now I'm curious, like, if I tried to like watch it on my phone or on my laptop, if I would have those. I haven't looked at it yet, and I haven't like check to see like what subscription I'm at, but I don't remember hearing anything about this. I don't remember like seeing an email about it. And I don't have a ton of subscription services just because I try to keep that to a minimum because every dollar counts, and also like I don't need a bunch of stuff that I'm barely going to use. I do use
Right.
Shudder quite frequently, and I do feel like it is a good value still, but
Yeah,
and their
frankly,
catalog
if I
has even
see-
gotten better.
I'm sorry, I forgot about the delay, and I'm a little bit more interrupty than usual. I was just gonna say, like, even if I see one brand new movie every month that's really, really decent for $10, like that's less than a movie ticket, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm totally okay with that, and I'm definitely getting at least like one new movie and one archive title a month that I'm just like, this new movie was great, and this is an archive title I either have never seen and was really trying to find, or it's one that I have seen and I wanted to see it again and now I get to. And so not complaining about the price increase at all, but just the way they rolled this thing out is insane.
Yeah, if I would have tried to watch the movie this morning and suddenly there were like 10 ad breaks, I probably would have flipped out a little bit because I'm
Oh,
so
yeah.
sick of ad breaks and like literally everything. And some of them are, unavoidable, and they drive me insane.
Right.
Like I don't mind, like I watch Tubi a lot, and I don't really care that there's like 3 random kind of ad breaks in the middle because it's a totally free service.
Exactly.
And I'm like, that's fine.
I wish they'd tried a little harder to place their ad breaks.
Yeah. The placement's kind of wild sometimes, but whatever.
It's clearly just entirely random, right? They're just like,
Yeah.
we need one about this many minutes in and one about this many minutes in.
Yeah, it kind
But
of just
again,
seems like it chops it up, but
it's free, right? And I've definitely never watched a feature-length film on Tubi where I had to have 10 ad breaks. Now, I guess it's possible that each of those 10 ad breaks is maybe just like one 30-second spot. Like I said, I didn't have to find out, so I can't say for sure. Well, since I did see them on my laptop, I'm really curious what's going on there, so I might go check out, see if I can find out how long they are. But here's the thing. Even if that is, then, because like Tubi ad breaks are kind of random in how long they are too, right? Sometimes you're lucky, you get just 1 or 2 commercials. Sometimes you're going to get 6 of them in a row, and it's going to be like your standard old school TV 2.5 minute commercial break.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. But again, it's fucking free, and I would rather have 3 2-minute breaks than 10 30-second breaks
Same.
any day of the week, my dudes. Like, who
that's
designed
just
this thing?
so many to like an irritating point, like I don't really care how long they are. It's the fact that it's chopping up my movie into like 10 different sections that's kind of infuriating. Whereas like, and I'm paying for the service. I know that, whatever. I'm sure it costs a lot to keep it running. I don't know anything about that. But like going from 0 ads to 10 ads is kind of wild.
Well, and like I said, I did find like some Reddit threads or whatever where people were saying they just started watching Tubi at one point and they had ads. Like they were like, all of a sudden they had ads. And here's the thing. If that happened to you, and you didn't know they had introduced this entirely new ad-supported layer because they didn't bother to announce it in any official capacity, like, that is gonna piss me off. I'm gonna be like, what the fuck? Why is Shudder fucking full of ads now? And so again, what I'm saying here is, like, I will just pay for the ad support, or the no ads version, because again, the extra dollar above what I was paying, no big deal. But what a terrible handling of this whole thing these guys have done, and it's really kind of disappointing.
Yeah, I'm curious because I know I don't have a Hulu subscription anymore, but I used to, and I remember they rolled something out similar a while back where it was like $1 extra to get the ad-free service.
Yep.
And I'm very curious as to, like, if is the business model like banking on more people paying that extra dollar, or is, like,
Well,
the ad revenue more from
you know what?
people who don't
Let's find out
upgrade?
real quick. I can pull up, because I don't currently have a Hulu subscription. So let me pull that up really quick and see actually what the price difference is between the ad-supported version and the not ad-supported version while we're working on talking about this movie. In fact, we're going to put a jump cut right here. All right, so we're back from the jump cut. Did you guys miss anything? I sure hope not, if I did my job correctly. No, so here's what I wanted to find out. This is what's different about it with Hulu. So on Shudder, you get the premium no ads for $10, and then you get the ad-supported version for $8. It's a $2 discount. That's a 20% discount if you go with the ad-supported version. Now, on Hulu, if you get the no ads version, it's $19 a month. And if you get the ad-supported version, it's only $12 a month. That's a full $7 off, which is more like a 37% price discount. And again, I've had the Hulu ad-supported, and the Hulu ad-supported is not, again, 10 ad breaks. In a lot of cases, the Hulu ad-supported is just a bookend. They give you one or two before the movie, and maybe not so much a bookend, but maybe they'll take one break in the middle of the movie, but that's it. Like, it's not 10 breaks for, and again, even just psychologically, like even though the percentage is only like 20 to 37%, $2 versus $7 is just feels so much more significant. And I didn't expect to get all caught, but I guess it's relevant stuff. I clearly wanted to talk about it here today.
Yeah, it is interesting. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I think the Hulu price has probably
Shudder.
changed a lot. Probably changed a lot since last time I had it, which was like 2 or 3 years ago. Because I think at one point when they first introduced it, it was like, oh, for $1 more you can get ad free. But yeah, the ads at that time too were only like, we had to watch one at like the beginning of the movie, so it's not that bad. And like you said with Tubi, it'll put like 2 or 3 breaks kind of scattered throughout the movie, which it kind of reminds me of watching something on cable. And so I'm like, all right, well, this is the time I'm going to get up, get a drink refill, go to the bathroom, that kind of thing. 10 ad breaks, if that's really the case, I can't do it.
Yeah, it's and the other thing about it, and I promise we're gonna get off this and start talking about the movie at some point, but also this happening at a time where Shudder has had a lot of real rocky stuff, right? Like the whole losing Joe Bob, the last drive-in, like, not super disheartening to me personally. I like Joe Bob, but I'm not like, over the moon connected. But a lot, like Shudder was in its early days was built on bringing Joe Bob back. Like, they had been around for a little while, but when they did what was supposed to be that last marathon, like, that blew everything up into the public eye at that point. And so there's been a lot of shakeup over that. Sam Zimmerman left to go work for, I want to say, A24 or somebody. But yeah, so a lot of shakeup and a lot of lack of confidence over there. And this just seems like a really poor, like, not just poorly executed, but unfortunate timing for when it was poorly executed as well.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. And like you said, overall, I will still pay $10 a month because they do have a pretty decent catalog, and I do have a lot of stuff like on my watch list from there, and they're getting new stuff all the time. And I feel like their catalog, as far as like getting like kind of bigger name movies, has really improved a lot over the last couple years too. But I don't like being surprised by having to pay more money for stuff, and I feel like every week I'm getting an email or some sort of update that's like, oh, price for whatever is going up, and there's not anything you can do about it.
Oh my God, Jenna, this gets even worse.
Oh no.
So
what?
while you were, I took a moment there because, as it turns out, my wireless internet is working well enough to stream video and have this call at the same time. So I jumped onto Shudder, and yes, for whatever reason, I am still getting the ad breaks on the website. I'm wondering if it's just something in the cache of my Roku, and as soon as that clears the next time, I'm going to have the ad breaks there too. Well, no, I won't, because I'm not going to be paying for it. I'm going to get the upgrade. But here's the thing. It is 10, at least the first one I looked at was just one 30-second spot. Just one. And get this. It's not even a sponsorship. It's a promo for one of their own shows on the service.
Oh, so it's not like they're making
It's
like
not
ad revenue
even-
off of it?
I guess maybe the intent is to, but at least, again, I just watched the one break. I'm not going to take the time to go through multiples here, so maybe my research is not scientifically sound. But yeah, that was even if they do get longer, what are we going to get? A minute of, it was for that Devil in Silver show that they're doing,
Oh,
like,
sure.
AMC Plus is also, it's like an AMC Plus promo, and fuck, it just dawns on me, this gets even wilder. It's a promo for this show on AMC Plus, ostensibly to get you to sign up for AMC Plus, but it's already available on Shudder, which you are already paying for.
Yeah. Huh.
What is going on? This just gets crazier and crazier. Like, I don't know.
I
I guess
guess
maybe there's a So season 1 is on here, and I guess there's no, because they still have the graphic up, by the way, that says new series premiere May 7th, and it's now June 28th. But yeah, you can watch the entire series right now on Shudder. So why are they making me, like, why is this your ad model? Oh my God.
Huh. That,
This is
I guess
insane.
I don't know. Maybe somebody who understands like ads or something better than I do can explain this, because I expected it to be like something that they're going to make ad revenue like off of, to like support monetarily, but I don't know. I don't know how that works if you're just playing like your own stuff. Is that a thing?
Yeah, so I'm
know.
watching the ad here. I'm actually, because now I gotta know. So I went back in and I was gonna check out one of the other breaks to see if it seems like they're all just one spot with a promo, but it brought me back in to watch the one that I didn't finish. But yeah, it's not even okay. Hang on just a minute now. No, so that went back into the. It's not even a promo for AMC Plus. It does mention it's an AMC Plus series, but you get to the end and says stream it now on Shudder, which you are fucking on. What the
Huh.
They're promoting their own service. If it was a free ad-supported version, that would make sense to, and maybe promo stuff that you can only get in the none of this makes any sense at all. I gotta skip to another one of these breaks. Nope.
What if it's
30-second break? It's a 30-second break, and it's the same fucking promo even.
Okay, I was just gonna say, is this
drop
10?
30-second promos for this show on me in the
10
middle
ad
of
breaks.
this? You know, look, listen, Shudder, I know nobody from there because, man, I thought this was just silly, but now this is fucking pissing me off. Like, seriously, like, you're gonna say, you're gonna charge me $8 a month for the privilege of getting to watch a movie, and 10 times during that movie, you're gonna stop the movie and spend 30 seconds telling me about another thing that's on your service that I can watch, that I know is there because it's right at the top of the goddamn screen every time. You already have my money, so it's not like I even have to pay anything extra to get it. What the fuck are you doing? And it's not even a different show. You know what that guarantees? I'm never gonna watch this fucking show.
Yeah, well, I really don't want to
again,
watch this.
Jesus Christ! What fucking hell?
They really want us to watch this show. Apparently, I don't know. Are not enough people watching this show, which apparently premiered on May 7th?
It's their show on the streaming service that you've already paid for. They're not gonna get anything extra from you for watching the show. So what the fuck, man? What it says to me is at some point they decided, well, they're just not gonna accept another dollar price increase, so we gotta introduce this other option. But the other option is so fucking shitty that I can't imagine anybody paying for it.
Wow. I don't even know.
This just got fucking crazier and crazier and crazier.
Yeah, if I would have fired up the movie this morning, so I woke up early, made my coffee, I'm sitting down, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch the movie this morning, nice and quiet. If I would have started up the Shudder app and had to sit through even 3 ad breaks of that same preview for that show, I'd be like flipping a table. I can't.
I wouldn't make it to 3. That first fucking ad shows up, and I'd be like, wait, what the fuck is going on here? Immediately.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely be confused.
Waiting for shit. I'd be like,
I would definitely be confused, but after the second one and it's the exact same thing, I'd be like, is this a joke?
What the
Am I being punked right now? What is this?
Man, it's just... What an man, I've heard a lot of rumors and a lot of people worried that, think the idea is that ultimately Shudder is just going to get absorbed into AMC Plus, right? And
I feel
ultimately...
like it basically...
It kind of has.
Already is.
You get most of Shudder. I know there are a couple of things that for whatever reason that Michelle doesn't get. I think it's because she has it as an Amazon add-on and not as its standalone thing. Maybe not from AMC to Shudder, but yeah, it's like, and I don't even have a problem with that as long as they continue to produce and distribute the same level of great content. Fine, whatever, merge into this other thing. If I end up having to pay $15 a month or whatever now because I gotta pay for the extra AMC Plus, I'm not gonna lie, there's stuff on there that I would find time to watch anyway. And Shudder, for me personally, still worth $15 a month. But god damn it, what a terrible, fucking awful mishandling of this entire thing.
Now I'm kind of thinking that they just want you to get like the AMC Plus membership, because I think that is like maybe only like $10 a month and includes.
Let's find out.
Shudder?
As long as we've spent this much time on it. AMC Plus price. What does
Because I
Google
swear,
tell
I
me?
feel like
Plans
I
and
just
pricing.
saw like an article or something about this and happened to glance at the pricing.
I'm just pulling it up here. It says, well, I got
And
a
I
free
think you're
trial
right.
option, of course.
Oh, and I think you're right about like if you get it as like an Amazon like add-on versus like the through the app like on its own standalone thing, there's like some sort of weird thing with that, because I remember like using a free trial for it once and I was like, what? I feel like this is not everything. And
All right, so here's the first thing. Okay, so users with AMC Plus have get many Shudder essentials. The standalone Shudder app still provides the most comprehensive and complete library. So you don't get everything from Shudder with AMC Plus, but you get a decent selection of it. And here's the thing. AMC Plus also has an ad-supported and a premium version. The ad-supported version is the same price, $7.99. The premium version is $1 more, $10.99. So, yeah, maybe it is some complex thing to see if a bunch of people just say, well, I'm not going to pay the $7.99 either way, and if I'm going up to $9.99 for Shudder, I might as well go up. But at that point, just fucking merge them together, guys.
this is very confusing. I don't know what they're
Yes.
what
I
this is.
I don't know what the... I would love for somebody... Because again, at the end of the day, this doesn't impact me at all, except they're getting a couple or an extra buck or two a month out of me. Whatever. But I would love to talk to somebody there about like fucking what was the logic here? What was the plan? Because it's wild. It makes no immediate sense to me at all.
No, like you said, it makes more sense if they would have finally just like merged them together and been like, okay, here's the plans for this merged service now. The whole thing is very confusing. I don't get it. I don't know what.
Well,
who
we've
did this?
we've spent
Who has done
a
this?
fucking half hour on this now, which I definitely did not see coming when I brought it up. But I think we'll just have to make sure I put real good timestamps and maybe even an extra warning at the beginning of this episode that like, oh, hey guys, we kind of get off on a tear about the Shudder new ad service here. So yeah, we'll
Yeah. If you
Anyway.
if you want to skip over the back in my day corner, you can jump ahead.
That's gotta be the segment title, Back in My Day Corner.
Which,
Oh, God,
like you
it's
said,
just-
I'm not surprised. I guess at like prices going up, because that's literally everything.
That's what
Prices are
happens.
going
They
up, and
just- they just raise the price because they want to.
yeah. I'm not thrilled about it, but it is still
It's
a
no
good deal.
surprise.
But it's very confusing why they did it this way, and the fact that there's 10 ad breaks that are 30 seconds of the same promo for their
Terrible
own
rollout,
show.
Terrible design. It's just there's not a single bit of this that makes any sense at all. You know what does have a lot of bits that make sense, Jenna?
The movie?
Yes, Forbidden Fruits.
Yeah.
That's the movie that we're talking about today. New release dropped on Shudder. This got a theatrical release earlier this year. Not the hugest release, but a nice little small theatrical run. Apparently made $2.4 million overall in its looks like it was out for like 2 weeks or so. So nice little teaser there. But I was aware of the movie. I knew Lily Reinhart was involved because I know it had gotten a little bit of press, mostly because of her involvement. But, or at least that's how I heard about it. I don't know if these other people in the movie with her are like up and coming known stars or not. I didn't personally recognize them. But I knew that it existed. I was aware of its presence, and I had a curiosity about it. But that was about it. I didn't really know anything like what it was about. Did you know much about this one before we saw it?
I did know a little bit about this just from like some coverage from months ago from one of the festivals that it came out. I don't know if it was like Fantastic Fest or something like that that I check out, but I was getting a little bit of buzz from that, so I knew a little bit about it. Was excited for this one to come out, so I've been kind of patiently waiting.
Yeah, and like I also knew that it had gotten a lot of heat for being like oh, it's very man hating or whatever, you know, that like, oh, it's typical woke feminist bullshit. And look, frankly, anytime I start to hear that, especially about a horror movie, sign me up. So I was definitely looking forward to it to see what all the fuss was about, because typically that kind of fuss points me in a direction that I really enjoy.
Yeah, same.
So Forbidden Fruits also will say that I did look at Rotten Tomatoes, and it's doing all right. 84 reviews on the tomato meter, and it's at 75%, and 250 plus verified ratings on the popcorn meter, which is just the regular watch people, and that's a 73%. It doesn't have a cumulative score listed on Shudder yet that I can see. It's only got a 5 out of 10 on IMDb, but you can't ever believe the IMDb rating about anything, so fuck it.
Yeah, IMDb is kind of weird ratings sometimes. Usually if I want to look at like kind of a cumulative overall rating, I typically look at Rotten Tomatoes, but yeah. I mean, so yeah, I was excited for this one.
I'm looking at the Descrippy here on Shudder and IMDb, and they're a little bit more spoilery than I would like, because there are things that I had no idea about this movie that I didn't learn until I saw them that are given away in this. So I'm going to cobble something together here from the Wikipedia plot description, kind of on the fly. So this is the Descrippy. Apple, Fig, and Cherry are glamorous saleswomen at the Free Eden clothing store in a shopping mall in Dallas, Texas. They are approached by a new girl who works at a pretzel counter in the food court. Their interest is piqued when she reveals her name is Pumpkin. Forbidden Fruits, 2026. Rated TVMA. I don't know what it was theatrically. Probably an R. Yes, it was. Thank you, IMDb. Hour 43 minutes. Jenna.
Yeah.
You want to hit us with your spoiler-free thoughts and skull rating, please?
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to give this one I'll do a 3 out of 5 skulls on this one. And kind of just my overall thoughts was that it was fun. I had a fun time watching it. It was very silly. It was very like self-aware, campy, a little messy, I think, in some parts, but it was originally written as a screenplay. So
you mean a stage play?
Yeah, sorry. It was written as for the stage. So I think maybe
most movies are written as a screenplay originally.
Yeah.
Jenna, I was gonna say.
Sorry, it was written as a screenplay. How crazy is that? No, yeah, it was written for the stage. It was written as a play. So, I think maybe there were just like a couple translation things from that to screenplay. But overall, I thought it was very fun, and just kind of the thought of like everything that is happening in this, like taking place in an overpriced like boutique mall store is really funny to me.
Yeah, it was. Did you have a skull rating for it? Oh, you said 3 skulls.
Yeah.
3 skulls out of 5 for Jenna on Forbidden Fruits. Do you want to know what I thought, or do you just not give a shit? Because I understand either way.
Oh, I guess. Tell us what you thought.
I liked it more than you did.
Really?
I had no idea exactly what this was gonna be. And I think part of what makes me so fond of it is, on paper, I should fucking hate this movie. Like, if you had just described more, if I knew too much about this movie, I probably never would have went to see it at all. There's a way I'm going to describe it in the spoiler section that I don't want to do here, because even that I think is a little bit too spoilery. But you're right. It's silly in a way that I was able to enjoy. As I mentioned, I can't remember if it was already here or if it was in our pre-discussion. Like, they're silly women, and they're definitely worldly women, and they're mall culture women, I think, is a fair way to describe them. But they're never presented as stupid. There's one of them that's a little flighty, but they're never and these are the kind of people that I personally almost never enjoy. And I liked every one of these characters. I thought it was incredibly well written. Was its biggest, that's the biggest strength of any movie. Like, if you have a solid foundation, you're good to go. Is it perfect? No. It's it's an hour and 43 minutes. It didn't need to be that long. This movie could be 20 minutes shorter, but I'm a fucking broken record on that at this point. I did really enjoy it. I did think there were a couple of moments where it successfully pulled out of that silliness and got into something a little bit more serious. I thought the big finish and everything that goes on in the third act was decent enough without going overboard. I think this movie could have slipped really badly in a lot of places, and it didn't necessarily have the cleanest run overall, but it definitely was enjoyable. It's one I will definitely tell people that they should put on their check this out sooner than later list. This one's a 4 skull for me.
Okay, yeah. No, I agree. I enjoyed the characters a lot too, and they all had, they had a lot more going on than what meets the eye too, which I enjoyed. Mm-hmm. They're well-written characters for what they are in this movie and for what this movie is, especially. And everyone did a really great job in their acting, and like the different personalities of the characters was very fun. I would recommend this movie. It's just kind of in general, I guess like my scoring for movies is either like there's like a 90 percentile of like, yeah, it's a pretty fine movie. Mm-hmm. And then it's like very much like a bell curve is like most of my movies are like, yeah, 3 out of 5, pretty decent movie, pretty all right movie. And then it's like, oh, I hated this movie, or like, I love this movie, can't get enough of this movie. Otherwise, everything's just like, yep, that was a pretty fine movie.
Well, and of course, as we're fond of saying here, ultimately, quantitative ratings of art are ridiculous anyway. It's just something that's like, oh, this is a thing we do on movie criticism things. I prefer qualitative opinions over quantitative any day of the week. So ultimately what I'm saying, Jenna, is on We Watch Shudder, you don't have to defend your own standard for how you rate films. You get to make your own fucking rules.
Yeah, and I do, but yeah, I enjoyed it. Good time.
Yeah.
And there were definitely some parts too that I even like laughed out loud at. There were some where I was like, that was kind of funny, and then there were some that were just like so absurd that we'll get into in a little bit here in the spoiler section where I'm like, that was so stupid, and I loved it.
I will say here in the non-spoiler section that very predictably, yes, it's a female positive movie, right? But all of the criticism of it as being this just crazy feminist man-hating propaganda is, of course, complete bullshit, right? It definitely has some opinions about men, but if you're one of those people who's not willing to accept that, frankly, men as a group are terrible, and that just because they're not all terrible doesn't mean that's not a fucking problem, but just predictably, God forbid we take a moment to send up ladies, you know? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting too because like there's like the first man that we see in this movie right in the opening scene is a terrible man. And yeah, I enjoyed him getting what was coming to him. And then the only other like I guess what I would call like man hating in this movie is like kind of touching on like some familial things that happen, like some of the characters in the past and like complicated relationships with like, you know, fathers and that sort of thing. It doesn't really like go super hard on like man hating like a lot of people like to say that it is.
It has very realistic themes about ways in which men are sometimes terrible, and God forbid we ever introduce that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say that it was overall like super feminist movie. It was like, oh no, it had an all-female cast and a female director. A tiny bit of housekeeping tied to that too is I looked at a lot of reviews. So the last movie that we covered was Find Your Friends, which was also an all-female lead cast and a female director, and a lot of reviews that I was looking at on Letterboxd after we covered it too, because I didn't want to let anything kind of like sway my opinion on it, was that like, oh, if you don't like this, you're not a feminist. And I'm like, no, here's the thing. Of course I would love to see more movies that have like female-led cast, female directors. But my problem with that movie versus this movie is that movie had very poorly written, one-dimensional characters, and especially considering the serious like topic overall of that movie made no sense to have them that way. And now this movie, a lot more silly, a lot more like self-aware and campy, yet somehow the characters are so much more well written and like have a lot of different like aspects to them. And yeah, there's some parts too where, you know, even the one that's like we talked about is very like kind of a little on the ditzy side. She's still very flighty, she's still very like self-aware of a lot of things when she's doing her like confessional.
She knows who
stuff.
She is.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow, these characters are just so much more well written, and that's what I want to see. Yeah, and you know what? Even at times when they're like kind of mean, and they're kind of mean to each other, which, you know, is sometimes a thing when you have a group of female friends. Like, it kind of reminded me of a group of people. Yes, it did bring me back to like a little bit of like high school days, just like a little bit of pettiness and stuff in there. But I don't know, I found it like kind of relatable in that way, and also just like realistic in a lot of other ways. But then there was also like a lot of themes of, you know, sisterhood and kind of banding together. So
let me just be real clear quickly. I made that for everybody clarification, not meaning hey men too, like you're not special, meaning it's a thing that gets applied to women all the time, but fucking everybody does it. It's not anything specially bad about women. That's what I was
that's true. I do feel like in movies and stuff it's just portrayed a lot more as like, ooh, female friends are mean to each other.
But you're right though, like in that movie they were mean to each other in a way where you like, why are you people even fucking friends? Mm-hmm. Right? Like, I don't believe you would, but in this movie they're mean to each other in ways that never make me go that far. right?
No.
They're mean to each other in believable ways that people who get close to each other are sometimes able to be mean to each other, right?
They're mean to
But
each other in almost like a sibling type
Yes.
way. Like
Yes.
super
It's,
super familiar with somebody, spend a lot of time together. Sometimes you're just going to like irritate the shit out of each other, but at the end of the day you're like, "No, I've got your back."
Yeah. So, all right, well, we should probably get to a plot summary here and get into some spoilers. If you do want to see the movie, and this is one that I strongly suggest you do see before we spoil a bunch of stuff, there are a lot of cool surprises in it, but at least there were for me. This is where you're going to want to pause it. Jenna, do you want to, again, attempt to do the plot summary this week, or would you like me to do it?
You can do it. I didn't really
All right.
take that good of notes on this, so I feel like I'm
didn't
just going to
either.
miss way too much stuff.
That's I'm pretty sure Michelle does a much better job of doing that, and that's why mine get all rambly, because I just try to do them a little. But anyway, so this movie is called Forbidden Fruits. There's this store in the mall. It's a shop. It's your typical modern fashion mall, and it's your typical modern fashion mall, or shopping mall fashion store. It's called Free Eden, and we open up and we're hearing like some voiceover of like people talking about these three ladies who work at Free Eden, and we immediately learn that they're called the Fruits, and it's like, what the fuck is that about? And of course later we find out that they're all named with fruit names. We have apple and cherry and fig, which is weird because I've never actually heard of any person using fig as a name. I have heard apple and cherry, but I only bring it up because I was like, like if you're gonna use a fruit name, fig is actually really not too bad. Anyway, so they call them the Fruits, and they're just this sort of like gang. You know how I would describe this movie, just to get you in the right mood? Think Mean Girls meets The Craft, but like 5 to 8 years older, because as it turns out, we find out. So these girls, they're in the mall, and we learn that they don't like it when their sisters in the club are they give the one girl they give Fig side eye when she goes to talk to this dude at one of the food court counters, and they're like, oh, well, like, get it, and she's like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to bother him. But then they also are mean to the girls in the food court, and they were mean to this girl from the pretzel stand, but eventually they're like, hey, wait a minute, you're not, so like, you don't belong at the pretzel stand, you belong at Free Eden with us. And so they end up bringing her to work with them at Free Eden, and very quickly they turn into her, but then they abandon her in the store overnight while they're introducing her to their little groupie group. They got like charm bracelets that have charms for all their fruits on them. Oh, did I say her name is Pumpkin? That's her name. Cherry wasn't even sure that pumpkin was a fruit, but yes, pumpkin is a fruit. And so ultimately we find out that they're like a group of witches, in like the modern, I like what they say, it's like in the kind of actual shit women would have gotten strung up in Salem for, which is just like actually knowing about certain things and ways to take care of people and doing sisterly woman things. They're not, like, for the most part, you get the impression that there's like, we're not out here trying to like throw magic. Keep that in the back of your mind. It feels like one of these sort of like modern Wiccan hedgecraft sort of things. And they're just all getting along, and they're having a really good time. It's a little weird because Apple's the leader, and it starts to feel to Pumpkin like she's like a little bit controlling and overbearing, but nobody seems super bothered by it. So she just kind of goes with the flow. But also she's talking on the phone with her mom, and we start to feel like something weird is going on here. But ultimately we find out that Cherry, the flighty one, she used to be an alcoholic, but Apple helped her get off the booze and helps her keep her life structured. But also she's apparently not supposed to have sex on Wednesdays for whatever reason. They never tell you why. This is one of those situations where it doesn't matter why, because it's not the fact that it happens is what matters to the story. But Cherry likes to fuck, right? She's a lady of her body, and she's fucking a lot of dudes. She's getting
From
out
the
there.
food
She's
court.
having a good time. From the food court, she's having a good time, just getting laid, and good for her. But we find out that if Apple finds out she's been fucking on Wednesday, there could be trouble. And then Fig is in love with this guy. She had the audacity to actually go and catch feelings, and Apple's not big on that. We only text boys emojis, which I thought was super fucking hilarious. But Pumpkin finds out about these secrets, and she's like, guys, why? Like, don't you think it's a little weird that you have to hide these things from her? And then they tell her the secret, which is like one time we actually tried to really actually do some like Wicca magic and put a curse on this guy, because we had another girl whose name was Pickle, which is not a fruit, although cucumber is in fact, I believe, a fruit. The seeds are inside the body, just like a squash or a pumpkin. But regardless, they're like, there was this girl Pickle, and she got hooked up with a guy, and Apple decided they needed to cast this curse on him, and none of them actually thought it was gonna work, but they did it, and it sure seems like it worked, because he like got knocked into a coma or whatnot, and Pickle went fucking crazy, and now she just kind of wanders the mall with gross black bags under her eyes of just like she hasn't slept in days, and she's going like just insane, and bangs her head into windows and walls from time to time. But Pumpkin meets up with Pickle and finds out that Pickle's just like, this is dangerous. And then at one point, they do the black magic thing to root out the snake again. And then like Pickle kills herself, and all sorts of other people start to die. Ultimately, we get Apple is like the lead girl from The Craft, where she just kind of gets drunk on power, and they're like, we can't keep doing this, we can't be hurting people, and so it becomes a power struggle. Cherry dies. She gets caught in the escalator and just gets fucking mutilated in a brutal fucking bloody sequence.
It was brutal.
This movie, there were moments where I was like, is this gonna actually become like a horror movie? And man, when it swings, it fucking swings. Fucking Cherry fucking meat cleavers that dude right in the face. I also like that, like, that's also that moment where like the movie, well, we'll talk about that when we get there. But yeah, she hacks this dude in the face, and then all this bad stuff starts happening. Cherry dies. I don't remember how Fig dies, but Fig also dies. And then Pumpkin and Apple are in a fountain, and they're fighting, and Apple also kills Pumpkin, and then she disappears and ends up at another free Eden store that's opening in a new mall, and she gets welcomed in, because it turns out all of these girls at this free Eden store are named after flowers, and they wear charm bracelets that have flower charms of their flower names on them. And now she's coming in with them, and there's this whole thing at the end where it's like, is she coming in as just like trying to find like-minded folks and use this as a way to, or are we gonna end up with fucking witch battle between this leader and her as like a power conflict with the fruit entering the flowers? I don't fucking know. But that's basically Forbidden Fruit's retail mall witch cult that goes too far, and it's a real good time.
You did kind of leave out a major plot element.
I'm not surprised. What did I leave out?
Okay, well, two things. So
the whole thing about how Apple and Pumpkin are sisters.
Yes.
You're right, I did. Yeah, it turns out Apple and Pumpkin are sisters, because there are, like, I did mention briefly that there were, she was talking to moms, and I said I was going to come back to that, and then I never did.
Yeah, so basically, like, the last, like, 10 minutes of this is all the girls are stuck in the mall alone because there's, like, a tornado happening outside, which is all right. And Yeah, Cherry gets her heel stuck in the escalator, which is something that they talked about earlier. They wouldn't go down the escalator because they were worried about their heels getting stuck. And then her hair gets like sucked into the escalator. Oh, it was terrifying. I feel like it's one of those like irrational fears that you have when it's like,
absolutely.
oh, my shoelace is gonna get stuck in there or whatever. Like, it was completely impossible, and she gets like just ground up into the gears and just like sucked in and just blood everywhere. It was
and
brutal.
I did remember how Fig dies.
Yes.
That chunk of glass comes falling from the ceiling from the windows or whatever, breaking, and fucking bifurcates her right down the... Those few moments were very Final Destination, right?
Yes.
Like, they very much had that kind of vibe. They were just a couple of quick things, though, just very, very gory and not overly elaborate, but man, were they bloody as fuck.
Yeah, it was just like, holy
splits
shit.
in half.
Yeah,
like
she
a
like...
geyser of blood.
She's like peels off of the glass and splits in two.
People can't see what you just did with your arms, Jenna. It's
no,
an
but they
recording.
could hear it and picture what that sounds like.
They could hear your arms moving and the sound of your voice.
They know from the sound that I just made what I'm talking about. Use your imagination, you know.
I'm a jerk.
And then Apple and Pumpkin start fighting in the fountain. Well, they start talking in the fountain because they're like rinsing off. She's like, oh my god, that was crazy. Let's rinse off in this fountain. And then Pumpkin is like, don't you know who I am? And Apple's like, yeah, you're my sister. And apparently, they talk earlier in the movie about both of their dads have passed away. So that's kind of something that they share in common. Well, it turns out they have the same dad because Apple's, the dad that she knew, went off and started this, like, had this whole other, like, secret family with Pumpkin's mom. And Apple finds out and she hates her dad. He kind of, like, abandoned her and her mom, so she poisons him and kills him. Whereas, like, Pumpkin had a really great relationship with him, and she says that he was her best friend, and she obviously talks to her mom a lot, so, like, she got to have the family that, right, like, Apple didn't. So it's kind of interesting to see, like, the two different sides of that.
Yeah, very classic conflict, but I do think this is one of the moments I was talking about earlier where I do think it gets a little bit more serious, because this is, and it's one of the moments that makes even the villainous character a little more, I guess I wouldn't say likable, but understandable, is it does present that idea, and this is something that I've been dealing with a lot personally for the last several years, is the same person can be both the best person you've ever known and the worst person you've ever known, right?
Yeah.
Like, that can be the same person, and that's a very... Now, should you murder the guy? That's a whole different discussion, but it's a believable, relatable thing. She's still the bad guy, but there's at least that.
Yeah, and there are, like, a couple times in the movie that give, like... Because she's a very hard character, Apple. There are a couple times that I think give, like, a little bit of softness to her character. And this is kind of one of those moments where it's, like, you see, like, the pain. Because you also realize that she's been, like, living in her car. And, like, her mom doesn't talk to her anymore either, because I think it was implied. I don't remember if they said specifically or if it was just implied that, like, her mom knows that she poisoned him, but also, like, he abandoned them anyway, so she's just like, whatever. So Apple kind of just, like, doesn't have any family, whereas, like, Pumpkin had that family, and then it was, like, kind of taken from her. Being confronted by this, Apple kind of has a meltdown and chokes Pumpkin and leaves her in the fountain. Yeah, and just like wanders off, goes to this new mall, finds the new store. She's got like blood all over like her hands and like her neck. And the new group of like the mean girls that are going into the new Free Eden store are like, oh my god, look at your beautiful charm bracelet. And they're like holding her hand that has like blood and stuff all over it.
There's this immediate feeling like there's some recognition between them, right?
Yeah.
Like almost like, game recognized game.
Yeah, because they're comparing their bracelets, because they have the charm bracelets that have the flowers on them, and they're looking at her charm bracelet that has the fruits on them, and they're like, they use the same line. They're like, oh, you're looking for a job, babe? Like, come on in. Which is how they got pumpkin. Yeah, so it's how they got pumpkin. So there's like this like theme of like sisterhood, whether by blood or by choice,
right?
In this movie.
I did feel like, and this is another part of it, like the movie doesn't get too heavy, but I think there is enjoyable, decent depth there. And that's why, like I said at the end, like I'm not sure is Apple's reaction at the end there an expression of what you were just talking about, where underneath all of this is this woman who unfortunately had a terrible relationship with her father, did something terrible, let monsters turn her into monsters. It's a classic tragic story, but also, she's living in her car. These people, and this is part of why not only does she not like men because her dad was awful, but also because it's part of why she wants to keep these guys away from her friends, but it's also because, like, they are all she has. So when she gets there at that point, is that she does incredible things with her facial expression, because I'm not sure, is this like a moment of immediate tension, or is it her just like finally ready to just accept and happy to have a family again, a group to fall back into?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's left up a little bit to interpretation on that. Also, too, with like the way that it ended, like obviously there were hints throughout the movie that there was like something going on with like Pumpkin, because she's like, trying to like kind of turn everybody against Apple, like just secretly, kind of like behind her back. And like when she's talking to her mom and she's like, yeah, I don't know, I'm gonna find out, like there's secrets going on, you're not quite sure like what exactly it is. And then that reveal, I mean, it's not like I wasn't like, oh my god, I had no idea. Like there were enough hints, I think, along the way that you could have figured it out, but it could have played out to be a lot more like kind of eye-rolling, I guess, than it actually did. Like on paper you're like, oh, and then it turns out like they're sisters, and Pumpkin hates Apple because Apple killed their dad, and you'd be like, oh, come on. Right. But it worked. I don't know, it worked for me. I liked it.
Well, it worked because of the performances. I do want to say that as well. Is the cast here is incredible.
Oh, yeah.
It really. Also, I want to say, like this movie does. It manages to make it very clear that they want you to see and recognize these women, not just as their personality. You got the science engineer who's trying to get her life going. You've got Cherry, who was a struggling alcoholic who got, they all found something in this group, but they're also like the movie is very much telling you these are hot girls while not making it like super male gazy, right? Like it doesn't ever feel lurid or like you're being some sort of lecher behind the sitting on the bench staring at strangers, but This is a fucking hot movie. Holy shit.
Yeah, they're like,
It's a very attractive cast of people.
yes, they're all very attractive, and they are like kind of like the hot mean girls of
Right.
of high
Yes.
school. But it's almost like it's in a different way. It's like they're doing it
Yes.
like kind of for themselves and kind of for each other,
Yes. Yes.
and like not for anybody else. In fact, a different the very very first scene of this movie is Apple sitting outside the mall in her car, and so all the girls are always drinking like a latte and like a big like Stanley mug with stickers all over it. And so you see her like out in her car like drinking her like
forgot about this.
scalding hot coffee, and there's this guy in this big truck that has a very stupid, it's like number one daddy or something like that, and he's like looking at her, and she's like giving it this motion that she wants him to like jerk off in his truck. So he starts doing that, and she's like, roll down your window, and he does, and he's like looking at her like like all gross, and she just like takes the top off her coffee, and you see it's like scalding hot, and then she just like splashes it into his truck like all over him, and he's
and
like
he literally
screaming,
screams, "Ow, my dick!" And that's
Yeah.
when you know what the tone of this movie is gonna be.
and then she just like gets out, and you see her like hot ass outfit, and she's got this like
Oh God.
big coat on, and I'm like, okay, she's a bad bitch, I get it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She's serving at
Yeah.
every moment of her.
He's like, my dick, and then like a little bit later in the movie, she's like talking to her friends, and she's like, yeah, so then I splashed my coffee all over his dick. Like,
And yeah, it's like even little things, like there's one shot that really drove it to me, like simple things, like there are a decent amount of shots in this movie where you're following a woman walking, which is a very common thing to create an expression of sexuality in movies, right? But a lot of it comes from because just graceful movement, but also what angle are you looking at? The watching a woman's ass as she walks away is a very male gazy thing. There was one shot in particular, and I'm sure there were more, but you're watching her just be hot and be confident in her hotness, but it's shot from like a down angle looking up at her.
yeah,
Which is, it's such a small but also not small difference, because what it's doing is it's framing her in a positive position of power, and so that's kind of that sort of thing. Like I said, it definitely, it doesn't eliminate their sexuality. It does a great job of showing you that you can notice and I guess celebrate, maybe that's not exactly the right word, the attractiveness of genetically fortunate women without being a complete fucking scumbag about it, right? And so I really appreciated that about this.
yeah, the way that those shots are, especially like every morning when they're like coming into work, and they've got these like amazing outfits on, and yeah, there's like that one long shot of like Apple like walking through the mall, and the way that the angle is like looking up at her, and so like almost in like a position of like dominance.
Yes,
And
exactly.
the confidence that she has when she's moving is just like, yeah, I'm a bad bitch, and I know it, and like nobody can tell me otherwise.
Even from a simple just like from a basic shot design perspective, you like so many times when you see camera, even they're not even super pronounced, but they're shot in such a way that the assumption is it's a man looking at a woman, and so there's even sometimes just a slight, just the way the height variance is and that slight angle of that, and you completely obliterate that context just by showing the same thing from a different angle. There are shots of like, especially in that opening sequence when when she throws her coffee on the dude and then walks into the mall. It's a following shot, right? We're watching her walk into the mall from behind, and she's definitely walking her "I am hot and I know it" walk, but it's shot in such a way where it never feels like this is shot intentionally for you to just stare at her ass for the next 5 to 10 seconds. It's like a full, like it's a powerful woman, like it's a woman feeling like sexually powerful and not being, I think what I'm trying to say is it feels like there's an agency to it, which I think is very, very different and important.
It also had, like, I think in my opinion too, is like, yeah, that shot when we're following her into the mall is like, I want to follow her because I'm so intrigued by, like, where is she going? What is she doing? Like, like I need to know. Yeah.
Well, and it's also,
who is that?
I think it helps that you see her fucking just obliterate this complete fucking pervert asshole before you see that, right? So it's like, okay, we know who this lady is, and more importantly, this character knows who she is, and so that just the way it's all presented, I thought was done in a really excellent way.
Yeah, from that very first scene, and then her walking in, and then the other girls like joining her as she goes in, like it's such like a quick part of the movie, but I feel like it did a really good job of like setting up who each of these characters are in that short amount of time. Like their outfits and their mannerisms were just like, okay, I feel like I understand who these characters like kind of are overall, like going into this, like I want to learn more about them, but like, okay, I see an overall picture here. And
and then of course, again, when there are moments, I thought the confessional was a brilliant, just a great storytelling device, right? Because those are also the moments where we've created a framework whereby it makes sense that the tone now shifts from silly to a little more serious. And that does a couple of things. First of all, it adds depth to those characters because we get to see them drop the mask in the sort of like Jungian sense, right? Like we see a little bit more complete picture of who they are. I don't mean to suggest that who they are with their friends is an act, but it's a part of them that they don't show. So it creates a more well-rounded character. Also, what it does is it adds a certain amount of legitimacy to that idea, because one of the biggest questions with sort of culty things like this is always, like, how did it ever get that far? And it's because, and people get roped into them because there are very genuine, positive things that they get from it, right? And this clearly has become like an important, valuable thing to them. And every one of them, you can feel it palpably when they go into that room and the curtain gets pulled. You know things are going to be different, and you feel that because the first time it happens, that lady who played Pumpkin does such a good job of being like, she's like, okay, this is ridiculous, but just very quickly slides into almost like it just happened, right? She, just by being there and just allowing herself to start talking, it brought that out of her and it became a thing right away. I thought that was a really excellent storytelling device that once I found out this was originally a stage play, I'm like, oh, that makes sense, and it's perfect. Loved it.
Yeah, there were definitely like some like monologue elements to this where I was like, okay, this worked out really well. Also, I love that they're the confessional is that they are confessing to Marilyn Monroe.
Love it.
They're like,
Who
it's
was
like
such a powerful woman that the president had to have her killed.
yeah, and they were like
male power destroying threat.
because they say that too. They're like, we're gonna confess to Marilyn Monroe because only the like U.S. government could stop her or something like that. Like, they say something about it. I don't remember exactly what, but it's something to that effect. Yeah, because they're also like, there's that scene where Cherry, who is, you know, kind of portrayed as like, kind of like the ditzy blonde of the group, super sweet, a little naive maybe. And kind of towards the end when she goes into the confessional and she just starts talking about how, you know, Apple saved her by helping her stay sober, and that like Apple feels like that's all she has in life, and like she just feels like so much more powerful with like Apple around. And like you just see this like kind of different side of her. Like she's very self-aware in like that moment, especially of like kind of what some of her insecurities are, and like some of the things that she's obviously still struggling with. But yeah, there were like interesting aspects to all these characters. Yeah.
And they did a really... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. No, go ahead, because I was going to change it to something else.
Oh. Well, it was what I feel like not only is it great to have those dimensions and but what it does show is, again, that, like, none of this is an act, right? None of it's, like, this is a legitimate sisterhood with these ladies. Like they are ride or die, right? Like, they are definitive, like, BFF. And so, like that's very real. And it's rooted in trauma and different traumas for all of them. But, you know, it's this thing, and it gets tarnished because one person is broken to a level that, unfortunately, I don't even want to say it like that. That's a bad way to say it, broken to a level. I don't even want to say broken. I'm really trying to genuinely focus on my language more all the time. But, you know, sometimes things go wrong, I think, is the only way to really fairly say it, because, man, do I understand making terrible, terrible decisions in trauma. But it's I think that's very important to understand about this, again, in the context of Find Your Friends, where we both said, I do not even understand at all why these people are friends.
No.
We are never given anything to make us understand, at no point whatsoever did I believe that any of those women liked any of the other women. They all disliked all of the rest of them. It wasn't like these three get along, but they don't like that one, but she, like, gets along with one of them. Nothing like that. And this, they do a really great job of making you understand exactly how it went as far as it did. That's a moment that I really love, is because even after they tell Pumpkin about doing the curse, it's still very much this, like, we don't know that we actually cursed them, right?
Yeah.
And so that, of course, is why it happens again, because and the fact, again, is, when we really get down to it, I think we all know that Fig and Cherry, neither one of them at any point ever actually believed it worked. And they're going along with it because of their connection with Apple, and the significance of, like, that's so prevalent in so much of this, that whole, again, sisterhood element. Where was I going with this? I just got, what were we talking about?
I'm sorry, I don't know.
I don't know. God damn it, I was working my way to a point, and then that thing happened. It'll come back to me in a couple of minutes.
I was thinking about Just like some of the rituals that they had in here too. And I think one of my favorite ones is when they first kind of like invite Pumpkin in. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, by the way. That's the trick, is I just gotta have a moment to grind back through. So, no, there is always still that doubt. So when you get to that moment where they're all in the room together and fucking it ends up Cherry fucking actually hacks that dude in the face with that cleaver, like, that's the first moment where for us as the audience, but also I think because even for Apple, the way she reacts, you can see that in her guts she also never believed any of this curse shit was actually real. Because the way, like, when that happens, it hits a very, at least for me, that very clear note of, oh fuck, what have we done? Like, that hit me in that moment a lot more strongly than I would have expected it to. And that's a sign of good writing, right? I just enjoyed the power of that. I thought it was a great moment. Really well. And the fucking effect of it. Such a simple makeup, right? You just a fucking fake curved blade on the side of his head and gore the fuck out of it. But just so well done.
That scene was kind of wild. I don't know exactly what Cherry had intended to do there, because so that whole scene is like they're all kind of spiraling a little bit after Pickle jumps off the second floor and dies in the mall, and they're like, have we caused this? And so this is a scene where this group is just like trying to figure out what to do, and they decide they need to have a sacrifice, and it's implied that they're going to sacrifice Cherry's cat, Shirley Temple. and then out of nowhere, this Fig's boyfriend Norman, who I have to say something about that too in a second, is
please do.
He shows up and she's like, what are you doing here? And then Cherry's like, oh, guess we gotta sacrifice somebody. So she like starts to kind of go towards him with the knife, but she trips over some stuff, and like that's what like makes the cleaver go into the side of his head. So I don't know what she was, I mean, it kind of seems like she was planning on doing that anyways, but then it just kind of happens accidentally. And then she's like, oh, I guess we don't have to sacrifice Shirley Temple.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, to me, I guess I didn't even notice that she actually did trip on something. My experience of it was, it's like, they really were just spiraling out, and she was the one who finally just spiraled too far and actually did something. And the moment she did it, she even knew. Like, it knocked her out of it as much as it did anybody else, and she knew immediately. She would. So I guess I didn't catch that she did actually trip on something. And
yeah, there's like a couple like clothing items on the ground or something that she just kind of trips on. So it's like it was kind of like it was, maybe going to be intentional, but then it kind of was out of her control and something else caused her to do it anyway. Well, so
even if it was like she was just going to go up to him and threaten him, or she thought she was going to do it, but in the second and a half it took her to get there, she realizes, I'm not going to do this. But yeah, the motion started and then something else influenced it, and now he's got a fucking cleaver in the side of his head, and you put it there.
Yeah, and they're all like, oh my god, like this is getting crazy.
Yeah, that's when it became real, for sure.
So kind
very
of
effective. Very effective.
Yeah, and then kind of from there is when it things really start to spiral out of control. So a couple of the scenes that made me laugh like really hard involve that Fig's boyfriend Norman. So first of all, she says like earlier when she's like, I don't know who she's talking to. I think she's maybe talking to Pumpkin and talking about if she likes this guy. And she's like, and his name is Norman. You know that Psycho is my favorite movie. like Norman Bates, and I don't know why that just cracked me up so much. And then so earlier, there's a scene earlier when Pumpkin is like spying on all of the girls, just like get some dirt on them, you know. It's like just kind of have some influence over them, I think, to get some dirt on Apple. Fig goes to meet up with this guy, to meet up with Norman in a restaurant in the mall, and he's like talking to her in emojis, and she's like, we don't have to do this anymore. And he's like, okay, will you be my girlfriend? And she's like, yes. And so he like, they both stand up, and so they're in this like crowded restaurant that he's like serving at, and he's like she said yeah, he's like, she said yes. And then the restaurant starts like cheering, and then he goes, but that's not even the best part. I got us tickets to Ed Sheeran tonight. And then the restaurant like starts cheering again, and I don't know why, I thought that was so funny. I laughed really hard. And then
funny.
And then she realizes that like Pumpkin is there, and they have like a little heart to heart. But then, so that's the reason why he shows up later to them at the group, is he's like, hey, I was waiting outside, are we going to Ed Sheeran or what? And she's like, I told you not to come in here. And then
yeah, because he was gonna be coming to pick her up, and she was like, no, don't come to pick me up, I'll come meet you.
Yes,
he didn't get the message.
No, so he comes in there and he ends up getting cleavered in the neck. But when he comes in, he's like, Emily. He's like, Emily, come on, let's go.
I don't even know her name.
And Cherry looks so disgusted. She goes, is your name fucking Emily? And she's like, yeah. She's like, it's totally not normal to have like that your name is just after a fruit. But she's like so disgusted. She's like, Emily.
Yeah, it was very funny for sure.
A couple.
Oh fuck.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. Please go ahead. You got some more stuff to talk about, and I'll make a note of what I was gonna say.
Yeah, just very short. So the other things that I enjoyed is like when they first start doing the ritual where they're gonna do their confessions to Marilyn Monroe, and like kind of to welcome like Pumpkin in, is they pour, I don't remember what they're pouring into this like bedazzled cowboy boot. And
I believe it started with bagged wine, which they were passing around and taking spout pours out of.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, was it just like a box of wine? And then like the spell that they're saying as they're like passing it around, and then they make her like drink out of this boot. Oh, I wish I could find it. I wish I could remember what it was, but it's like every other word is like some like really kind of like Gen Z slang, and then there's like a witchy word in between, so it's like newt thigh gap. Like I can't remember like what they were, but it's just so it was just so silly.
I'm gonna make a note of it, and nobody's gonna give a shit. I'm gonna go and find it in the movie, and I'm gonna make an audio clip, and I'm gonna play it right here, because this is the spoiler section.
Goat's milk, thigh gaps, rose petals, bone casts, truffle oil, bitch slap, blood clots, juice press.
Yeah, I would love that.
It. Wasn't that hilarious?
Because I even tried to look it up and I couldn't find it. So yeah, here it is. You either just listen to it or you're gonna just listen to it.
Goat's milk, thigh gaps, rose petals, bone casts, truffle oil, bitch slap, blood clots, juice press.
Now, I want to ask you, now that we got that audio clip in there before I forget, do you legitimately not remember what they put in that boot?
No, I don't remember everything they put in the boot.
Okay, so I don't know if this is everything, but it's the shit that I made note of. I think they put box wine, bag wine in it as the base, but then they go through this whole process where they go around and the three of them take their underwear off and proceed to wring their underwear out into the boot, which, first of all, I guess implies either that they had all urinated in their own underwear, or were perhaps sexually aroused to a degree that you could drip it out of their underwear, or maybe just sweaty. I don't know. The thing is, why were their underwear moist to a degree that they could wring moisture out of them into this drink? And then you don't
No,
remember
I
that?
somehow do not remember that at all, but I would guess that it was probably the second one. I'm
can't
guessing it's some
imagine
sort
why
of.
I remember it.
I'm guessing it was some sort
then-
of I was just going to say
Like
something really gross. Never mind. Let's move on.
And then the last thing I remember going in is at one point Apple tells Pumpkin to slap her, and then when she does and her eyes tear up, she puts some of her tears in.
Oh
the boot.
yeah, I
But
do
then
remember
this
her
is-
dropping a tear into it.
This is the part of this that really solidified it in my mind, because I love this, and it's another just great piece of writing. Because this is in that first session where they're introducing her to the fact that, hey, we are in fact kind of this Wiccan coven sort of situation, and we're doing this. She's like, this whole time she's like, guys, this kind of weird, and she's questioning the weirdness of all these things, and she watches them build this boot beverage with all these body fluids of some sort or other. And when she finally when Apple finally hands Pumpkin the boot with the straw in it, she doesn't even hesitate for a moment. She just takes the boot and drinks it down.
Yep.
And I was just like, what the fuck? I love it. It's great.
Just does not question it. There's several points in this movie, like there's one where she just like goes into the back room, because all these like weird ritual stuff is just taking place in this like back room of the store, and she just like walks in at one point, and the three of them are wearing these like cloaks, and they're like, put this on. And she's like, all right, guess I'm putting this on.
Oh, yeah, so funny. So fucking funny.
Yeah, it was very fun. The other part that I really enjoyed too, which plays into the very ending of this movie, is that they're always talking about the actual manager of the store, Sharon.
Yes. Yes.
Like she's always this like mysterious off-screen character. Like they even like talk to her at some points, but you never like see or hear Sharon. And it's so funny because Apple's just like, ugh, like Sharon's the manager, but like I'm gonna be the manager someday. Like they just like, she hates Sharon, the rest of them seem indifferent towards her, but it's like and then Sharon, you saw the
sorry, go
mid-credit scene, correct?
I was just gonna ask you, because Michelle, after everything that's happened in film in the last 15 years at least, Michelle still regularly does not watch the credits. So yeah, I was gonna ask you, did you watch the credits?
I did.
Yeah.
And so
It's Gabrielle Union.
yeah, it turns out it's Gabrielle Union, who is also a bad bitch in this movie, and she just always looks amazing. I cannot believe she has not aged like a single day since Bring It On. And just incredible actress too. So yeah, she shows up and she's like Agent Sharon FBI, or she's like an undercover cop, and it turns out that she's been there like investigating Apple because she
Who has
suspected
done
her.
this before?
Yeah, and she's like basically investigating her for like poisoning her dad and maybe some other stuff. So she's like checking out the crime scene of Cherry and Fig and Pumpkin, and she's like, it happened again. And then it's like,
Well, because
away.
I had actually forgotten at that point that earlier on in the movie, when they first tell Pumpkin about Pickle, she does like a Google search to see if she can find out any information about this coma situation or whatever. And she finds a picture of Apple with a completely different group of people, ostensibly either at the same store from even earlier or a different store.
Oh, yeah.
But I had forgotten about it, and then to get to that thing, and I was like, oh shit, like she's like a serial witch cult developer lady, which again adds some interesting dimension to like where's shit gonna go between these two alpha witches at the fruit section, the fruit store. But yeah,
It's just
fucking rad.
It's just so funny to think about this, like, this girl just like who is maybe a witch going around to this like one specific store in a mall, this like chain of stores, and just like all this like really bad shit just like following her, or like her causing it, and just like mall witches, mall coven.
Yeah.
And it was very fun too, because when this movie first started, I wasn't sure. I was like, oh, does this take place in the 90s? Does this, like, where is this? Because it's very mall centric, which
Yes.
listen, I'm pretty out of touch with the youth these days, but I don't think malls are as big as they used to be. You know, and they like the mall is like the super cool place to go. And
yeah, I think it's very ambiguous in time intentionally.
yeah, like there's a lot of things that are like that feel very dated, and then there's a lot of things that are very modern. So it's kind of
For sure.
kind of ambiguous when it takes place, but it's like, no, this store in the mall is where you want to go, because they like sell this like tablecloth to this lady for like $2,000 and pretend it's a scarf. It's crazy.
It's yeah, it's what a fucking sequence that is. Yeah, this lady comes in, and for a moment also, I don't know, maybe it did to you, but I guess I can't say for sure. Was the idea that it legitimately was an awesome thing that they just improvised on the spot, or is the idea that it actually looked kind of silly and they convinced her it didn't and got her to pay $400 for the tablecloth and ultimately buy $2,000 worth of shit?
Yeah. I
What
think
do
kind
you
of
think?
I think maybe both. Like I think
A
it
little
was
bit
kind
of
of yeah, it was kind of on the fly, where they just like drape it over her and they're like, "Oh my gosh, look at you." And then they like slap a sticker on it, cuz they're like, "This lady is going to pay this much money for this thing because we told her it's cool. Like we influenced her to buy this." And yeah, the lady like does not even question it. She's like, "Ugh, I look cool." Oh, cuz they're like momfluencer.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
so it was just that was a very silly scene. And then I guess I'm not going to get into it too much, because I don't know if I'm the right person to like delve into this, but there was definitely like some deeper feelings between Apple and Cherry that I don't think this movie, unless I missed it a lot, it didn't quite like explore enough. Because at one point, shortly before Cherry dies on the escalator, they're having like a heated moment of like kind of yelling at each other, and then like Apple leans in and kisses Cherry, and Cherry is like very taken aback by this and runs
What are
away.
you doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe it's just my interpretation of things as a dude, but I also got a little bit of a vibe when Fig first actually goes and introduces herself to the pretzel shop girl who turns out to be Pumpkin. I definitely got some energy off of that there might be a little bit more of something going on there, at least initially, between the two of them.
Yeah. I also felt like there was like some flirtation there, and kind of the way that she hung back from the rest of the group, I almost thought like maybe she like didn't want them to know that she was like kind of being flirtatious, either with like the pretzel shop girl, because they seemed to really dislike anybody who works in the food court, or just because
Right.
it was like
Well,
another
that's
woman,
the
or
vibe
what
that
the deal
I got.
was.
Like, I certainly never got any feeling whatsoever that it was like they don't know she's into girls, like,
Okay.
into women. Excuse me. I never got that feeling. I did get more of the like, man, if they knew I was coming after the pretzel shop girl, I would never hear the fucking end of it.
Yeah, and because she like grabs a couple pretzels too, and she's like, "These are so good," and she's like, doesn't want them to know that she's even eating like the little pretzel bites.
That is a little thing about that character that I did pick up on, is there are moments where you see her alone, enjoying some really rich kind of, sort of decadent food. And because you always see her doing it alone, I kind of got the vibe that, like, this is another one of those things that Apple, from a sense of, we need, we want to stay, fit and healthy and taking care of it. Because Apple's whole thing is it's like that tough love gone too far, right? That sisterly,
Yeah.
motherly thing that just goes too far. And so I definitely got that vibe as well, that was just, and not even to the extent that she's like, she just likes really tasty shit from time to time, right? And she doesn't get to have it even a little bit. So she
Yeah.
sneaks any opportunity she can get to have it, because God forbid you eat one piece of chocolate.
Yeah, Apple's just very controlling over like everybody's kind of behaviors. Like, you can only text guys in emojis. Sherry can't have sex on Wednesdays. So I don't know what that's about. That to me felt, maybe I missed something there too, but it was felt like a little bit of a nod to Mean Girls, where it's like on Wednesdays we were pink or something, and because they reference Mean Girls a couple times in this movie too. They talk about Regina George, and so I was like, I don't know, maybe that's just something they just picked that day because of that, but I don't know what the deal
Well,
was
and
there.
If I mean, I'm not a scholar on the topic by any means, but I've seen some documentaries and shit, and if I'm not mistaken, like, ritual in itself is a big part of creating those environments and developing those as the leader of the situation. And so it the more absurd it gets, almost is more illustrative of the power of the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like it's such a weird tool of control. But it's like, if you can get them to commit to this whole thing, like, that's a definite power position. So yeah, very just, it's a smart, God damn it, I've been doing this a lot, and I feel like people are gonna start to believe it's just like a thing, but I'm sitting here vacillating at this point if I don't want to bump this up to a 5. I've uncovered, as we do. So I gotta just stop giving the movie scores until we get through this part of the discussion, because I'm not gonna do it. I'm not saying it's not gonna change between now and the next episode, but I'm gonna give myself some time to think about it, at least this time. But no,
Yeah.
this movie is just really well written on a number of levels.
Yeah, it was a fun watch that had like some deeper moments in it that kind of it had a very interesting tone to it.
For
like
sure.
And I think the reason why I said that at times it felt a little, I don't want to say messy, because that's not it. Like, some of the transitions felt a little strange to me at points in the movie, but I don't know. I think some of that too is maybe just like it probably could have had a little bit of time cut out of it and been like a little tighter in some places, but overall I wasn't like bored or anything like that. Like, it didn't feel like it was that, it didn't feel like it was long. It's just there was a couple areas where I'm like, I feel like the script could have been tightened up a little bit in some of these moments, but nothing that like took me out of anything or that was like glaring to me. It's just like, just kind of in general, but either way, it's totally fine.
Yeah, it's and No, JD, give yourself time. I'm too impulsive, Jenna. I'm trying to not be quite so impulsive anymore either. The last thing that I personally want to make sure I mention on here is, as you did talk about the movie, and I learned this when the credit appeared at the end of the movie, is that it is actually adapted from a stage play. And so Meredith Alloway was the director of the film, and then Lily Houghton was the writer of the stage play, and they co-wrote the film adaptation together. But what I love about it is Apple spends the last portion of the movie wearing a T-shirt with the title of this play on the shirt. But I didn't know it was a play at this point, and I was just like, "That's a fucking badass shirt." Because it's this white shirt, and it says, it's a long title, and it's great. The title is, "Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die." And I was like, holy shit, that's some fucking metal as fuck shit.
Yeah, and that was the name of the off-Broadway play. Yeah, I did have that in my notes too. So that was kind of a fun nod. Oh, and then the last thing that I had in here that was just kind of under my like funny moments notes is that at one point after one of their rituals that they're doing, you think that they're gonna take some drugs. It's like a piece of it's like a sequin. They put like a sequin on their tongue, like it's acid, and then just like rave out in the back room.
She actually just tells her flat out, no, it's a placebo.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay, you remember how I said that I didn't really recognize anybody in this cast except for Lily Reinhardt, who I recognize from that Archie show that she was on?
Yeah.
Cherry is played by Victoria Pedretti. Do you know who Victoria Pedretti is?
Yes, I recognized her. So I recognized her from You, and but then I was like, I know her from somewhere else too. And she was in Haunting of Hill House and Haunting of Bly Manor.
Yeah, I saw both of those series because Mike Flanagan. I have seen all of You.
Really?
I didn't recognize her at all.
So
that's wild.
I couldn't place her at first, but I was like, I know I've seen her in something, and then I looked it up and I was like, oh, she was Love Quinn in You, who plays
whose brother's name is 40.
Who is
I watched it.
Massive character in the first season, right?
Second season.
Second season? Oh, yeah. Yes. You're right. The first, okay.
And third season as well.
Yeah, now I remember. Yes. I forgot, and then I remember what happens in the first season, and then he meets her. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, I did look up the cast from this, and I knew Lily Reinhardt's name. I don't really know anything, or didn't really watch anything that she was in, but then Victoria Pedretti, I think, is the only person that I really recognized from anything.
I didn't recognize her because it's a really incredible makeup job, and I wouldn't really recognize her anyway, but I did just do some looking. Pickle is played by Emma Chamberlain, who is an influencer, like a TikTok sort of person, and a YouTube vlogger. But what I know her from is some sort of clip where she's interviewing some dude on the red carpet for a thing. And then as he's walking away, he's like, "Love you, bye." And then she gives the camera this look. She's like, "Oh my god, he said he loves me." And it's that's what I know her from. But apparently this was her first acting role.
Oh. Okay.
Her first feature film role. She did some voice work, I guess, prior to this, and some TV work, but it was her first feature film.
Yeah, I thought the cast was great.
Oh yes, that ultimately that's what I was driving to when I started this whole descent into looking at who the cast was. Fucking loved it. Lily Reinhart as Apple, Lola Tung as Pumpkin, Victoria Pedretti as Cherry, Alexandra Shipp as Fig, as I said, Emma Chamberlain as Pickle, Gabrielle Union as Sharon Sullivan. I also really love just the simple fact that there's the very obvious, and I'm sure this is one of the things that people thought was just so hateful of men, but there's the very obvious simple fact that the only male characters in this movie serve to inform the women, right? They are nothing but props in a very deliberate way. And I personally really appreciated that.
Yeah, there's the perv in his truck at the very beginning. There's the boyfriend, Norman, who is very minimal. And then there's, like, the husband of the, like, momfluencer, who is completely clueless about what's going on.
Yeah. And I also feel like there's that feeling of
and then the all the boys from the food court.
Because it's ultimately it's really about agency, right? Like, Fig / Emily, when she says, when it becomes clear that she's actually, like, in love with this guy, like, it makes it clear that, like, you can still be very feminist and pro-women and appreciate good men and have emotional experiences and love experiences with men. Like, that doesn't destroy that possibility, which is, again, I think another thing that a lot of very woman terrified men think is something that's going on, and it's just not, right? Like, it's absolutely, and it's not a matter of, like, anything other than just Apple's control, right? It's nothing but that.
Yeah.
Good Lord, Jenna, I just looked at the clock, and we are pushing 2 hours on this recording. Oh, my God.
Again? How does this happen?
We apparently both have a lot of shit to talk about. Michelle, when Michelle comes back, I have to believe she hasn't been keeping up with the episodes because she's had a lot of stuff going on. If she has been keeping up, I mean, I won't be surprised, but I will be surprised, you know? But she's gonna see the way these things are going now, and she's gonna be like, fucking hell, have you guys been doing it this much every week? But it's not like her episodes or our episodes haven't been, like, we were regularly going an hour to an hour and a half anyway. So it's also, to be fair, we did spend a half an hour ranting. I spent a half an hour ranting about the ad driven Shudder thing. So
this is true. We had to have our get off our lawn corner up front.
I know, I'm not gonna let you characterize it like that, man. At first it started out that way, but the more I delved in and realized, I was like, this is not shaking a fist at a cloud. This is, you guys did this really, really poorly.
No, I agree. It is it makes no goddamn sense, and I was actually getting really like,
as old
I was like so irritated about it by the time we were done. I was like, we simply must move on because I can't. I'm like, I'm so irritated by this. I can't.
Well, I don't have anything else to say at the moment. Also, it occurs to me that off the top of my head, I don't have any idea what's being released on Shudder next week, and I don't think I've even looked up yet, ever, even once, what the July release schedule looks like. Should I pull it up here real quick, as long as we're already this deep, and see what's coming up?
Let's check it out. If you've made it this far in the episode, we'll let you know what's coming up here soon. We'll find out together.
Okay, so looks like no new original or exclusive release July 4th weekend, which frankly doesn't surprise me. But on Friday, July 10th, we finally get the streaming release of Faces of Death, the new version from earlier this year. And then the last Friday, July 31st, we get a new Shudder exclusive called Nightborn, all one word, Nightborn, that I don't know jack or shit about, and I'm just going to keep it that way. And then we get some originals here. They got them split up. We get a Shudder original called Saccharin on Friday the 24th. Why did they do this in this order? Okay, Jesus. Okay, I got to do these in order. I don't know why they're out of order like this. So, Friday, July 3rd, Touch Me, the movie that we played theatrically here back in May, is going to be released. I'm excited we get to talk about Touch Me. Then, the week after that, the 10th, we get Faces of Death. On the 17th, we get Exit 8.
Yes.
I am stoked. I've been waiting to see that. It's been on VOD, and I just hadn't gotten around to get it yet because, wait a minute. Hey, things just completely shut down. So this is cool. I'm going to be able to catch back up on this. So I believe where we were is that we were going over the schedule. On the 3rd, we get Touch Me. On the 10th, we get the Faces of Death. On the 17th, we get Exit 8, based on a video game that I've been looking forward to seeing that. Then on the 24th, we get a new Shudder original called Saccharin, and then on the 31st, we get Nightborn. So there is a new original or exclusive every week, and a lot of these. Touch Me is exciting. I've already seen that movie a couple of times, but thrilled we get to talk about it here. Faces of Death I've already seen, and I'll leave it at that because I don't want to spoil anything for the episode, but that's a pretty good schedule.
Yeah, this seems really good. I'm excited to see Touch Me. I didn't get a chance to see it when you guys had it here.
You didn't? You didn't get a chance, Jenna?
I was busy. I wasn't even in town. And then Faces of Death and Exit 8 I've been wanting to see, and I've been patiently waiting until they dropped on Shudder because I knew they were coming. So, yeah, and then the other two sound intriguing.
Yeah, so, alright, we've tortured these people long enough. I don't have anything else to say except this movie was a real good time. Do you have anything else to say?
No, I think we said everything we could possibly say about this movie.
Probably said some of it twice. You know what else what we haven't said? Say goodnight, Jenna.
Good night, Jenna.